So we're going to have a play with the Mayku Vacuum Former. It's been warming up on heat 6. We have got the timer on a minute, but I am looking for the bow in the plastic sheet. These 3 items, what we're hoping to try and mould at some point today. Probably going to go with the starfish for now, I think. Might as well start with the hardest one. So we've got a nice bow coming on that plastic sheet. The Henry vacuum cleaner is plugged into the machine, so when we drop it down, the vacuum kicks in and moulds to the shape of the starfish. Probably just heard the vacuum turn off. So that's unclamp that. Gently remove the starfish, and there's our plastic mould of a starfish. Trim this to size, fill with wax, chocolate, anything you like. So the Mayku Vacuum Former, we've got the 1mm clear sheets, food grade, long life moulds. I've peeled the backing off the sheet already, so if I lift those, lift that frame up out of the way, put the sheet on, the rubber seal, bring that back down, clamp them together, and then raise both parts up to the heater. I've got the heater set on temperature 6, and for a minute, if I start the timer, that'll start heating the sheet, and you'll see the sheet start to bow and transform underneath. What I'm looking for is more the sheet bowing than the time. And I think we've done the starfish already, which you may see in a different video. I think this time we'll try and do the horseshoe. I'm just not sure about the groove, but with it having the holes in, it may pull down into that groove quite well. So if we just pop that on there. Henry vacuum cleaner is already plugged into the back of the machine, so that when we drop that down, it'll put the vacuum on and hopefully fall into the shape of the horseshoe. Just give that a few more seconds. You can hear the timer ticking, it's getting closer to time. We've got a nice bow under there now. So if we press this down, you can hear the vacuum kick in and the sheet moulds to the shape of the item. The vacuum turns off. We can unclamp those, lift the top there out of the way, and remove the sheet. Still a bit warm, but there we go with a horseshoe mould. Fill with resin with some release spray to make sure it doesn't stick, wax, soap, plaster, anything you wish. So we're going to try the third of our items, just picked up at a little charity shop for 99p, just to show that you don't need to spend a fortune on items to make a mould with this. The starfish was actually from a charity shop as well, and the horseshoe was from one of our horses. I've already got the plastic sheet in this time, so we'll just raise it up, we'll start the timer as a guide. Again, heat 6, we're set on 1 minute. The plastic's already starting to move. And eventually you'll see that it starts to bow underneath. We'll place the dome in place on the middle of the sheet. As before, we use a Henry Hoover, these already plugged in and waiting. The machine turns the Hoover on and off automatically. So I think we're starting to get a bit of heat in that sheet now. We do both sheets. We've got the 1mm clear sheets, and we've also got the 1.5mm slightly thicker resin sheets as well, that are more designed for resin artwork. That's not saying you can't use these sheets, just maybe use a bit of release spray or something, wax, to make sure that the resin doesn't bond to these sheets. So you can see now we've got the bow underneath. The timer's finished on that 1 minute timer, so we will pop this down. The vacuum kicks in. Unclamp the top, and it's still a bit warm. We'll carefully remove that one, let that cool on the table for a bit. And then gently still very warm. Manipulate the dome out of there, and we have a dome. So again, chocolate, wax, bath bombs, things like that. There you go. So we're back with our plastic moulds that we made out of the A1. I did try and demould the starfish because I thought it'd be a bit fragile, and we have just accidentally broke a couple of the points off of him. So, but there's the starfish. The black did dominate, as I suspected it may. The ball, or half sphere, we can just trim this off, probably with a nail file or something like that, just to smooth these edges out. And the horseshoe. Cool. And there's the horseshoe. And because when I did the starfish I had an accident, it landed in this tray mould. So with all the spare that I scraped out of the cups, we just made a tray.